Hey everyone, it's Celeste and welcome to my booktube channel. Today I'm here to do a Saturday Bookish chat with you. I haven't filmed. I didn't get a chance to film last weekend, and so I feel a little behind like on my content. So I realized whenever I was going through and looking at what I had done lately that I have not gone through and talked about my February reading, and I realized that we're more than a week into March. Like, we're almost halfway done with March. Like, where is the time going? I don't even know. But I realized that I hadn't talked about my February reading with you guys yet, so I felt like I could spend some time talking about that today, if that's okay. So, it was not my best reading month. So in the first week of February, I got sick. I don't know if it was a combination of like stress and stuff that was going around, but I was down for a couple of days. And then, you know, when you're not feeling well, it takes time. Like, it takes time to kind of get back into your groove. So that kind of impacted me right off the bat at the beginning of the first week, like within the first week. And then, you know, like, there were all kinds of things that were happening. Like, there was one weekend where we had tickets to see Adam Sandler in Houston. And so for me, like, I'm getting old, like going to Houston for an evening really can take it out of me. So, then, you know, just like bits and bobs, things that were happening for the rest of the month. And it was a short month. Like, it's the shortest month of the year. Like, we all know this. So with all that said, this year in February, I only read 6 books. Only 6 books. I don't know what happened with that. And so I only read 6 books. My average, though, I think was better. Hang on, let me check my notes. Yeah, it was better than January. So my average star rating was a 3.8. So I was enjoying the few books that I was reading, I was enjoying more than like previous time, you know, the previous month. So because my book count was so low, my page count was also low. I only got 2,040 pages read. So just over 2,000 pages read in the month of February, which put my average page length for my books at about 340. So, like, for those of you who might not know, my goal for 2023 is to read longer books. Not necessarily read more books, you know, than past years, but to read longer books in general, because when I would focus on reading more books, I would read sometimes shorter books as opposed to my longer books, because then I, you know, could get them done and move on to the next book, and then that's another title on the list. So this year I'm very conscious and specific in thinking about reading longer titles that I have on my shelves. And so that's what's going on with that. So 340 for the average page length for the month is good. Like, that's good. That tracks. I think I was doing not as good as maybe January, but January I read more books. So what are you going to do about that? So for January and February combined, my total page count for the year 2023 is up to 5,779 approximately. So then that means that I'm doing pretty well. Like, for those 2 months, if I kept doing that, then I would definitely have a higher page count by the end of this year. So I'm good with that. Like, really, frankly, that's good. So what did I read? In case you're wondering, because there's only 6 of them, I read Upgrade by Blake Crouch, which was one of my Book of the Month books. I read The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. That was also one of my Book of the Month books. I read The Mixtape by Brittany Cherry, which is a romance that I was able to read through my Kindle Unlimited subscription. I read My Dearest Darkest by Kayla Coddington, which was the Book Bitch Literary Society pick that I needed to finish for the meeting. I also read The Vibrant Years by Sonali. I don't remember the author. My bad. I had to look that up. And then I read Sign Here by Claudia Lux, which was another one of my Book of the Month books. So I kind of prioritized some of those Book of the Month books in the month of February. And I didn't give anything less than 3 stars. So yeah, so there you go with my average star count. So how did 2023 stack up to 2022? Not great, because in 2022, I read 13 books in the month of January. I was on fire. I don't know what was going on, but I read 13 books. And so because of that, I had way more pages read. Like, I read twice as, I read twice as many titles. I read twice as many pages, basically. But my average star rating was lower for 2022. In February 2022, my average star rating was only a 3.46. So I didn't enjoy everything. Like, there were some books that I gave not as many stars. Like, I guess there was more like 3-star books, maybe some books that were like a 2-star book. And then on the average page length, though, the average page length was lower because in 2022, I wasn't worried about that. That wasn't my goal, so I didn't worry about that. So that's what's up with that. How am I feeling about it? Well, I feel like having kind of a low month for me, which 6 books is good. And like, anyone who's reading anything, like, good on you. So good on me. Yeah, good on me. But for me, that's just not really how I roll. So I feel like having a low month has kind of spurred me on to do better for the next couple of months. So it's March now. I am now on my spring break. Yay! So spring break, and last year, I don't know if you guys, some of you were around here last year. Last year for spring break, we went to Walt Disney World in Florida, and I did not get a lot read because we would tromp around the parks all day, and then in the evening I was beat down, tired. Like, I was not getting a lot of things read in the evenings. Like, I'm not even really all that sorry about it. Like, that's just how it was when you're with family and you're doing all that. So far for the month of March, I've read 1, 2, 3, 4. I've read 4 books already. So I'm almost definitely going to do better this month than I did in February. So I feel like having kind of a low month kind of like kicked my butt into gear, I guess you could say, to do better for the month of March. So there's that. Yeah. So what am I reading right now? Oh my goodness. So listen. One of the things that I'm reading right now is The Lady of Rookgrave Manor, and it is by Catherine Moon, and it's from, I'm reading it through Kindle Unlimited, so it's part of the Kindle Unlimited subscription that I have, and I was looking for something smutty. Oh goodness, I found something smutty. I'm only like 20% done with it. Like, I have not really I haven't even gotten to the halfway point yet, but holy smokes. Basically, it's set, I think, more like the Victorian times. Like, it's not really explicit, but like, I think it's around those times. There's still like servants and such, right, in those big households. And this girl who was working as a servant is hired to work in this manor, and she is taken care of. They provide her room, her board, and all that. They even provide her with some clothing and stuff. And she has gentleman callers. I wouldn't say it's like sex work because, I mean, she isn't explicit. I mean, I guess it is because they're taking care of her, so, but there's not really money exchanging hands. Like, these gentlemen, and she has her own autonomy. Like, from the beginning, she's told, like, you can say no. Like, or if you and a guy don't get along, like, you don't have to. The thing that makes this interesting is that it's paranormal, in that all the gentlemen callers to this manor are monsters of some sort. Like, she's already met a vampire, she has met a golem, she has met a like sort of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of character. She saw a werewolf. And it's all very sex positive. So boy, did I get into, I was seeking it out, and man, did I find it. I'm also reading that nonfiction book about The Office. I'm about 250 pages into it, but it's like 460 pages. So I'm just past the halfway mark. What has helped me kind of keep me going in it is that I have started rewatching The Office. So I'm now watching, I'm like in season 2 of The Office, kind of watching alongside reading it, and that's really helped, because then when it shows someone like interview, like I see their name on the screen, or I see the character, see the actor playing that character, so that's really cool. Or they talk about specific things that happened in certain episodes, and I'm like, okay, yeah, because I can watch that episode. So that's really helped with that. I'm listening and reading The Lies I Tell by Julia Clark, which is a thriller, and I'm almost done with it. Like, I think I'm like 80 something or 90% done with it. I do like a thriller, and I've decided that I do want to hear about like con women, or con women especially, but also maybe con men, I guess, depending on who they're conning. But it's dealing with like a con woman and another woman who's like a journalist who's like trying to find her and write a story about her and expose her or whatever. And I'm really liking it. There's one piece of the plot / characterization that I'm just like, really? That I'm just not a big fan of, but I'm gonna finish it out and see how I feel, and then yeah, but I'll probably finish that pretty quickly. So like, I'll probably be at 5 books by the time I go to bed tonight. I'm really in the mood lately for thrillers and for romance. I think that when I finish one of these books that I'm currently reading, I think I'm going to pivot to maybe some Cassandra Clare. I'm a little behind in my Cassandra Clare reading, and it's like guilty reading, but it's like big books, but they read so fast because you get into I don't know about you, well, I say you, I get into a groove with her writing, and I can just truck along. And so that's something that I'm, yeah, like kind of digging, kind of jonesing for right now. But yeah, like I want to read like romance or thriller. Like I'm not in a mood to read something that's hard hitting, like certain nonfiction or like literary fiction. I'm not in the mood for it right now. I'm really not. So anyway, that's all I got going on for today. Let me know down below in the comments, like, did you have a good February reading month? I know it's, but did you? Have you read anything really good? Have you read from any of these authors that I've mentioned, or any of the books that I have mentioned? Like what'd you think of those or whatever? And if you have any suggestions, like if there's a good thriller that maybe I haven't read that I just really need to get to, or a romance that is really good, it doesn't have to be smutty. Like I kind of bounce back and forth. Like if I read something super smutty like I am right now, sometimes I'll go to a more like romantic comedy, like contemporary type thing. Or like if I read something that's closed door, then I'm like, nah, I want to see it, and so then I'll read something super smutty. Like I kind of bounce around. Like I'm not your friend that will read all of the same thing all the time. Like I have friends that are like, oh, I'm this type of reader, or I'm this reader. Like my friends, like especially like the book bitches, like they have a hard time pinning me down, because it's like, Celeste will read anything, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So anyway, thanks for watching. As always, if you like my content and you want to see more from me, please consider subscribing or giving me a like. That's really cool. Anyway, I guess I will see you guys in the next one. So bye.